Okay, where I'm standing right now is in Jerusalem, and one thing that I wanted to show in this area to go over is the trial and sentencing of Jesus. And one thing that I wanted to show in this area is this area here. You see this protruding wall, and behind it the regular wall. And these over here would have been an inclusion of a gateway towards the actual secondary wall of Jerusalem. And here you can see steps, and in the first century this would have been a gateway entry. And one of the things that theories behind this area of the sentencing and trial of Jesus is most people believe that he was actually tried and sentenced in the Antonia fortress. But one theory is that there were two praetoriums, one in the Antonia fortress and one in Herod's palace, which would have been directly behind this wall here. And the Jaffa Gate, which would not have existed but exists now, would have been from that area across this whole back of this wall, would have been Herod's fortress, and in this area would have been where the soldiers would have stayed in the praetorium. So Pilate would have been separated from the masses in this area, unlike the Antonia fortress, as you can see now, and probably back then too, but this would have been able to hold all the people, whereas in the Antonia fortress area there isn't an inclusion that would have been able to hold that many people. So Pilate would have been cut off from all the people. He would have talked to Jesus, and he would have been sentenced here and then taken into the praetorium where the soldiers would have beat him. And the other thing is that unlike the area of the Church of the Sepulchre, or the Church of the Resurrection, that says that Jesus was crucified and buried there, one alternative view is that directly across from this area is the Hinnom Valley, and most likely Pilate in the past would have crucified people across this area here, which is on the top of that hill. It was the Patriarchal Highway, and down below it is the Hinnom Valley. And that's where the idea of, from the Hebrew thought, Gehenna, or hell, or Hades would have come from. So Jesus would have crossed over from life and into death, and back up, and he would have been resurrected again. So I think it's kind of interesting about this theory, and it kind of makes a lot more sense because the area can hold people, because of where he was crucified. It could have been here. The fact that there's two praetoriums, not one. In fact, of how Pilate could have been able to hear Jesus when he spoke to him, and would have been cut off from the rest of the people. You can see Barabbas and Jesus being brought out here in front of where the people would have been to say that they wanted Barabbas to be set free and Jesus to be condemned, in the area of where Jesus would have been whipped before his crucifixion.